Welcome to reading Reorder Paragraphs, the introduction session. Let's go ahead and see what this question type is about and what we need to take care of in order to score well at Reorder Paragraphs. In the exam, you'll get 2 to 3 questions of this type, and what you'll see on your screen, you'll see different paragraphs, blocks of different paragraphs, and you have to move those blocks in the correct order. Okay, so on the right hand side, you have to drag and put those blocks in the correct order. So essentially, rearrange those paragraphs in the correct order so that the whole text together makes sense. This is what the screen will look like. So you have to take the paragraphs on the left and drag them into the box on the right and then arrange them in the right order. Okay? You can drag and drop them, or you can also use the arrows. So it's a test of your reading skills and essentially, testing how well you can understand a text, and then how well are you able to link, different sentences and find relationships between different pieces of the sentence, because that's what determines the order in which you place those paragraphs, right? If you are able to tell the relationship between the paragraphs, you will be able to arrange them correctly. So, in other words, you have to be able to tell um, that this particular paragraph, it requires some information which is given in this other paragraph. So that's why the second paragraph, it should go before this particular paragraph. So that depends upon your ability to be able to identify and find those relationships. So the very first thing that you should do is go through all those sentences and try to find a main sentence, an introduction sentence, or a leading sentence. And a leading sentence is something that can stand on its own, all right? It does not depend on any other information to make complete sentence. So let's say if you took that sentence and then just put it outside, removed everything else and just left that sentence, it would still make sense. So that is your leading sentence, and that can come in the first place. So a sentence which makes complete sense by itself and which also sort of introduces, gives you a general introduction about what the theme is for the whole passage, which you can identify by looking at all the sentences. After that, you need to find a sentence that can build upon this particular sentence, this first sentence. And similarly, every subsequent sentence should be able to build upon the sentence before that, should add something to the meaning of the sentence and the sentences before it. All right? So similarly, for every new sentence that you're looking for, all right, try to identify, is it referring to some other piece of information which is given in some other sentence? That way you can identify and find the links between different sentences and arrange them in a correct order. Okay? So, for example, if there's a sentence which has the word he in it, so that means, it's referring to a person, and that person should have been introduced or talked about, you know, described, mentioned in some other sentence. So find a sentence which talks about a person and put that sentence, that paragraph, before the paragraph that has the word he in it. Okay, so that's how you find these relationships. Feel free to reorder sentences as much as you need. Okay, so once you have put sentences in order, then have a look. All of them. Do you think each one is adding something, to the sentence before it? If not, then feel free to rearrange them. Okay, and in the end, read the whole passage once again and make sure it makes complete sense. So we'll be doing a lot of practice, and all of these concepts will become clear to you. This technique of finding the relationships, finding out what an introductory or a leading sentence should be. All of this will become very clear to you. So don't worry about all of that. This is just an introduction to help you get started. And yes, you are now ready. So please go ahead and start practicing with set number 1. All the best.